I liked the original song, and I just hammered it out in a very short period of time. I really just kind of nailed it. I did this in 2020. It had been a little while since I did a remix, so when this came in, I was very excited. You know, the original track had a piano, so I took that piano and then dropped it into kind of made a loop in this granular processing software, and I used the Moog One for the bass line, and there's all kinds of stuff going on here. I did my usual tricks, you know, putting the chamber kind of emulation, right here on the for the drums and things like that. This is usually my effect chain for the reverb return send, which, you know, I usually hammer that on the snare and the hats and the percussion and the cymbals and stuff. Whenever I do a remix, honestly, I take the original track in the project file, and it lives up there the whole time, and so I can reference it easily. I obviously figure out the BPM and then change that if I want to. With really vocal heavy kind of, I think, more pop structured songs, I shy away from changing the tempo too much because I just am not a giant fan of stretched vocals. It takes a lot of work to get them to sound good, and I just don't really like the sound of them. So I leave this track in here and I constantly reference it. The main reason I do this, and I don't use the stems instead to kind of pull the melody, because I like taking this and then, trying to find the melody myself. That helps me find something different as opposed to just dropping the, say the original chord progression in and just going at it that way. I like to just figure it out. And by doing that, I think I run into, little accidents that really kind of make it my own and make it different. This is how the entire remix started. So that is the original piano from their track, where I just kind of mangled it up through the Cycles plugin from Slate and Ash, which I highly recommend checking out. It's an incredible instrument. The capabilities are pretty amazing. It's a very, very handy instrument, and yeah, I've been using it a lot lately. You can see how it's sequencing, and it has some automation on some certain things, and we have the sequencer here that's generating different values as far as the position of the sample being played, the pitch of the sample, the volume. I'll play it as it goes, and you can see how this works here. So, each one of these little squares is a different value that's affecting, obviously the pitch, the position, and the volume of this loop. And these are all just slices of the loop. And the sequencer is kind of jumping back and forth and affecting different pitches. And it's only scaling by an octave, but the original sample, the piano, has different pitches, but in the same key of the song. So it worked with the octave stretching. It was very plain in the beginning, the vocal track. And then when I got feedback, they were like, can you make the vocals a little more interesting? So I went ahead and did that, and that sounds like this. I want to dance off through past the walls. I want to float the bridge and toward the lights, and toward the lights. I know with certain eyes. So you get the gist of it. You can see here we got a lot of reversed parts. So there's this kind of pushing and pulling in between vocal parts and creating some variation. And I have some chopped up little pitch bits, some samples that were purposefully stretched out. When I just talked about how I don't like to stretch vocals, I don't like to stretch them out to make it work to a BPM. I like to stretch them out to get that sound specifically if I'm looking for it. And you can see where the majority of the vocal changes, it's mostly in the front, and then I have towards the back end, I let the track kind of finish on its own. There's less focus on the vocals because as the song progresses, there's a lot more synth work and a lot more, a lot more things happening down in this end of the, of the track that is more me, This is a signature thing that I do in a lot of my music. I like to end the song with kind of a crazy breakdown, a glitch out, like the computer, you just dropped it in the pool or something. But I like doing this where it's almost like it changes to a completely different song. We'll go from the last kind of bar here. When I use those parts, what you just heard that kind of change, most of the time it's just parts from everywhere in the remix that I change the pitch, slow things down, stretch it out, give it way more distortion. I've done this on some of my own music, my personal music. And people, sometimes they tell me that's their favorite part. It's like, they're always like, it's like a track within a track, so you get like 2 tracks for the price of 1 kind of thing. Yeah. So on this, it was just a pitch bend on this guy here. Then we have a little bit of just a dry and wetness automation on Portal, which is kind of a multi-effect, granular processing, delay. It's got some incredible. This is another one from Output. It's called Portal. It's a really, really great plugin. I use it quite often, but you can see here, if we go like this. So, just a pretty endless amount of sonic exploration using things like that. And I like ending tracks that way where, not a breakdown, in the song structure sense. It's like it's actually physically like a breaking down, or a machine is breaking down.